Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? The waiting stops here. It's finally time for the FIFA World Cup draw. It is time for the group draw of the biggest competition in world football, the World Cup, and I am so excited. As most of you know, or at least as some of you can, I suppose, gather, I am, of course, an Australian. Don't know if it was the kit that gave it away, the accent, but whatever. Australia has qualified for the World Cup. I cannot wait. It is going to be our fourth World Cup in a row after not making the World Cup for like 30 odd years. And honestly, I thought, why the hell not? With the group draw literally only a couple of minutes away from happening, I figured I may as well make a video and react to who we get in our group. Now, I'm really hoping, obviously as fans of every single nation that makes it to the World Cup is going to hope, that we get hopefully as easy a group as possible. But with that said, let me just tell you why, before we get into the reaction, why I genuinely think Australia, out of all 32 nations that are going to be at the World Cup this year, deserve the easiest ride possible. Australia is not going to win the World Cup anytime soon, maybe not even in my lifetime. I would like to think it's a possibility, but at this point in time, it's kind of unrealistic. If we do make it out of our group in the World Cup, it's kind of a big deal for us. So you would at least want a little bit of hope, a little bit of realistic optimism that your country was going to make it out of the group. But at the last World Cup, we got none of that. We were put into a group with, get this, okay, Chile. Right, Chile, obviously we know quality team. They've won the last, 3 Copa Americas back to back to back. We had them, we had the Netherlands, although despite going to shit recently, made it all the way to the semi-finals at that World Cup, and hell, eventually just finished 3rd overall. And then, to top off that ridiculous group, fucking Spain! You know, just the reigning World Cup champions. It was a bullshit group for us. We had no chance of getting out of that thing, and obviously, we struggled to get even a point. I'm seriously hoping it's a lot less challenging for us at this World Cup, and we get some, I'm not going to say easier teams. It is the World Cup finals. I'm going to rule out the fact that there is any easy team at the World Cup finals, but I'm hoping that it's a lot easier for us. But anyway, lads, the World Cup draw is about to begin. We'll see which countries end up in what group, who's going to end up playing who, and yeah, let's get it started. Okay, after about 20 to 30 minutes of bullshit filler, we're finally getting to the actual World Cup draw. All the legends are coming out, the pots are out there, and shit, I'm getting hyped as fuck. Gary Lineker's just walked out. We're about to get set. We're about to go through the groups here, and we're starting off obviously with Group A, and Russia are going to be taking that first spot. Obviously, the home nation, we all know how that works. Okay, so we knew Russia was going to get that A1 spot in Group A, and the very first country that we didn't know where they were going to go is Portugal, and they are going to go into Group B. And now into Group C is France. I was a little late on that one. I'm trying to keep my head out of Twitter, but it's very tempting at a point like this. But anyway, France gets pulled out of pot 1 for Group C. Next up into Group D is Argentina, who get into Group D. Lionel Messi's last chance at winning a World Cup, surely. Now, I've encountered some technical difficulties I'll quickly touch on about. I was watching the actual World Cup draw broadcast, but the stream I'm watching it on got shut down, obviously, which sucks, because no one in Australia wants to broadcast the damn World Cup draw except for 30 minutes, an hour after it happens. So thanks, SBS. But yeah, anyway, Brazil got drawn into Group E, which was annoying. I've now seen Germany have been drawn into Group F as well, and it looks like, just as I'm watching the live feed of the groups as they fill in, Belgium have just gone into Group G as well. And waiting on the final group spot to be filled, and there is only one spot. I am not too sure who it is in pot 1 anymore, because I don't have that information to me, which pisses me off. But there we go. It is Poland. Poland will fill it out. Group H, there we go. So it's Russia in Group A, Portugal Group B, Group C is France, Group D, Argentina, E is Brazil, F is Germany, G is Belgium, and Poland get that final spot. The next country that has been drawn, Uruguay, into Group A, so they go in with Russia. Waiting for who gets into Group B now and join Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. Spain is the team that gets in there. Portugal versus Spain in the group stage of the World Cup. That's going to be big. I'm a big fan of that one. Taking a look at Group C now, there's a lot of other countries in there, some strong countries. For example, England's in there. We got Colombia, Mexico, Peru are going to get into Group C, so they are joining France in Group C. Who's joining Argentina? It's Croatia that get into Group D. Okay, and they take that 3rd spot in the group, but there you go then. We still don't know where England are going to fall, by the way. They are not going to be in Group E, though. It's going to be Switzerland that have to face Brazil. But now then, England, there's 3 more groups left, and they could either get paired up with Germany, Belgium, or Poland. You know that they want to hold all the way out to Group H, and especially not fall into Group F with Germany. Group F, Mexico ended up with Germany. Group G, England ended up with Belgium. They nearly survived all the way to Group H to end up with Poland, but they didn't. Instead, Colombia goes into Group H. Now we move on into Pot 3, and Pot 3 includes some other very good teams. I'm trying to think of the best ones in there. Maybe a Denmark. Costa Rica went on quite a fair run at the last World Cup as well. Egypt, obviously, with the fact they've got an absolute star in Mo Salah. Sweden, maybe Ibra's coming back for that. Some okay teams in there in pot 3. And Egypt, speaking of Mo Salah, is ending up in Group A. Group A turning into a bit of an interesting group at the moment. I'm not going to call it a group of death by any means, but Russia, Egypt, and Uruguay. I don't know exactly what's happening here, but they've gone straight to Group C, and Denmark has ended up in Group C. So France, Peru, and Denmark, again, okay, it's an okay group that. I would not call it a group of death by any means, but still solid. Now they're doing the draw for Group B. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there because it's always been A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H when it's come to them drawing groups. Iran ends up in Group B. Portugal, Spain, and Iran is making it into Group B. Group D now we're waiting on, and it's going to be, out of all the teams that are left, Iceland end up in that group. So Argentina, Iceland, and Croatia. That are Iceland and Croatia going to give Messi an awful lot of trouble? I'm not too sure when it comes to their World Cup qualifying campaign, but we will see. Iceland, obviously, no superstars really in their team, but they're just a solid unit and a solid outfit. They went a long way in the Euros and did extremely well. Very, very proud for their small population. And straight away into Group B as well now, we have got Costa Rica moving on, and they are going to end up in Group E with Switzerland and Brazil. Again, interesting group for sure. Group F is next. Germany, Mexico. Add Sweden to that as well. Germany, Mexico, Sweden. That, I think, is maybe depending on whether or not Ibra comes back. I don't know. I'm not going to pin Sweden being a threat in the World Cup purely on if Ibrahimovic returns for the World Cup. But, I mean, Germany, Mexico, Sweden, definitely not the worst group I would think so far. Now for Group G, we have Belgium. We have England. There are only 2 teams left, and it's either Senegal or Tunisia. I think you take your pick at that point, and Tunisia will be the team in Group G. England are, I think, having definitely not every single favour in the world go their way by any means, but Belgium and Tunisia, I think they'll probably take that if you were going to tell them beforehand. So a relatively good group going so far for England in Group G, and then of course that means Senegal have ended up in Group H. Poland and Colombia. Here we go then. Yeah, this is the moment. Why do we have to be in the last pot? Because now all the suspense has been leading up to this moment. And at any point, my team, Australia, my country is going to pop up in one of these groups. I'm really hoping they end up in, just off first really quick analysis, Group G or H. They look to be the weaker, I would say. I don't want to end up in Group B. Saudi Arabia end up in Group A, so we survive. We miss Russia, the home nation. We are going to miss Uruguay. We're going to miss Egypt. Okay. So missing Group A, I think we're good there. But I fucking hope we don't end up in Group B, because Portugal and Spain are almost surely going to go through no matter what. Oh, shit, man. God damn it. I'm literally just watching and waiting in suspense. I'm just hoping to see Australia's name pop up as late as possible. Please, anyone else but us. Serbia end up in Group E. Okay. Would I have taken Group E? Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica? Ooh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say Brazil. I'm not going to say Costa Rica, and Switzerland have got their class. No. All right. I'm glad that we dodged Group E as well. But it's just, there are some pretty solid, there's still some good groups in there. Okay, it looks like next up, Group B. I've got an interesting system here where I can tell what group is being drawn, but I don't know what the country is going to end up being. I'm keeping my eye on that spot. Don't be Morocco! Yes! Come on! I did not want to end up in that group. Fuck Portugal, fuck Spain. Not the countries, I'm sure they're great places, but fuck playing against them in the World Cup. When we were not getting out of that group, I'm glad we've dodged Group B. And shit, I just saw it. Group C, that's where Australia's ended up. You know what? Peru, the country that knocked out New Zealand, their, I don't know if we'd call them mates necessarily, but all right. And it was they struggled against New Zealand. So, okay, Peru, maybe a chance we could get by them. I'm going to say that. We've got Denmark as well. Denmark have their quality players. We know that. They've got Eriksen and they've got some class. And France is going to, I think France will just wipe the floor with that group. But Group C, France, okay, Denmark, they're, I think, our biggest rivals. We could get out of that group. I'm going to try to remain positive and say we could maybe do bits. We're not finishing top of that group, that's for sure. But Group C then. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to complain too much about that. It's still a tough group. I would have liked to have ended up in Group G or H, but C, whatever. Group D, by the way, Nigeria has ended up in there. I'm gonna, okay, Man, all right, fucking France. France versus Australia, Peru and Australia, Denmark and Australia. Bring it on. Russia 2018, baby. Oh, I can't wait. Having a look at Group G2, by the way, there are 3 more groups left to be filled in. Panama are going to get Group G. I would have loved to have ended up in Group G because not only do we have Belgium out of all the A sort of like pot 1 teams, I think Belgium were maybe not the strongest, but definitely not the weakest. They would have been an okay team to have got. Tunisia as well, and then England. I mean, just the fact that I would have loved Australia to have played England in the World Cup. It could still happen. And then Group F, by the way, Korea has ended up in it. That's a decent group, you know. Korea, Sweden, Mexico, Germany. That's an interesting group. I don't know which one's the group of death. I'll definitely take a look in a second. And then that obviously means Japan will end up in Group H. So Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan in Group H. And so we are done with the World Cup group draw reaction. And my God, guys, right when the pot 4 came up and it was Australia's turn, I was so gassed and nervous at the same time. And my God, man, I cannot actually wait any longer for the Russian World Cup. Just 2018, get here, please. I'm definitely not left with the same feeling of, oh, for fuck's sake, why are we even going to the World Cup? That sort of feeling with the group that we've drawn into. It's way better than getting freaking Spain, Netherlands, and Chile 4 years ago compared to now. France is obviously, we'll be have to work pretty hard to get anything out of that game. We'll have to work pretty hard for every single game, obviously, but I tell you what, bloody Peru, I definitely think there are points on the board there. And as for Denmark, that's going to be, I think, the game against Denmark will be the big decider for Australia, whether or not we go through. If we get a result against them, if we're able to beat Denmark, then yeah, I reckon then that is big. It really comes down to me anyway, between ourselves and Denmark for who gets out of that group. Woo! Thank you so much for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and of course, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on all the groups. Which group is the group of death? There's a big debate going on right now on Twitter. All my fans and everyone that follows me, just no one seems to know. No one can agree on what's the group of death, but anyway, either way, we will see how it goes. Russia 2018, bring it on. Until next time, guys, my name is MasterBucks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good one.